Hi y'all, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are highlighting the topic that's not talked about enough: how unsafe women literally and truly are in society in relation to our male counterparts. Different varieties of situations to look at into why some of us had to act nice even though we're afraid in order to self-preserve. Well, on this channel, I talk about everything relating to mental health. Gina Chumesi is my name, your favorite psych nurse practitioner, or I'm becoming one. And I discuss trauma healing, and leveling up after that.
All right, I'm in contact with female. What's wrong?
He shot my family.
What do you mean he shot your family? Stay right here. All right, she's telling me he's just shot her family. Stay right there. Thank you. Where's he at? Over where? Where?
He's running. He's running.
She's saying he's running northbound. I'm trying to get more information. Yeah, that car just comes southbound right there. Check the street.
Inside is a nightmare scene. 3 members of the extended Serrano family lay dead. Jessica's twin sister, Maria Anna Green, lays dead from 2 gunshot wounds. Maria Anna's husband, Ken Green, is at the foot of the basement stairs, dead from a single gunshot, presumably the first person killed, ambushed by Castorena. Back upstairs, Jessica's father, Jesus Serrano, lays dead in a hallway, shot twice. Minutes later, when checking to see if the gunman was in the backyard, a 4th body was found, that of Rudolfo Perez, a family friend who had been renting a camper from the family.
I've got 1 down, gunshot wound in the kitchen. Get the female out of here. Get out of here. Ma'am, come on. You need to get out of here. Come on. Go out there. Go outside. Go outside. You stay outside. Come on. I'm trying to get one. What's he look like?
Joseph Castorena.
What's he wearing?
He's wearing a gray sweater. I don't know. He wanted to kill me too, but he didn't have no more bullets.
Okay, you gotta come back over here. I want you to sit right here. Sit.
I don't know. My child. Mariana. The girls.
What girls?
They're in the room. I don't know.
Okay, stay here. I need you to stay here.
The girl.
One thing that I've come to realize and make peace with is the fact that a lot of men, not all, but a lot, lack emotional intelligence. When it comes to dealing with in relationships, marriages, dealing with girlfriend, boyfriend situations, fiancé situations, breakups, especially when their egos get bruised, because you never know how somebody's going to react. There are times where they can harbor that resentment for months, sometimes years, while they calculate what the payback for what you did to them is going to be like. Sometimes they will plan to hurt you, and they will plan to hurt your family. In this case, what happened to this young lady here in this video literally made me cry. Gina Chumesi here, your favorite psych nurse practitioner, where I talk about everything mental health related, breakup, recovery, separation, divorce, should I stay, should I go, red flags to recognize it, how to minimize it. And this is the epitome of that, the red flags. There are times where as women we have to minimize ourselves literally in order to make peace, whether in a marriage or you have that inkling of feeling of not feeling safe. There are times where I had a story once where I literally had to apologize to this guy not because I was needy or whatever the situationship was, but I felt unsafe. It was a threat that was not direct. It was quiet threat. And then your instincts will go, I wonder. You know how that somebody just withdraws, but they withdraw in a very conniving way. You know, their pattern, their presentation is a little different from how they usually deal with you. And you can help but know, especially if you know that person has a lot of things that can unalive you. That makes you sit a bit and question yourself. There's this lady who was somewhere on a beach somewhere and needed a picture or something. This guy was coming up to her, but because of her fear of her personal space and boundary being invaded, she was acting nice, she was smiling, she was doing all that. And you wonder people around her will like come to her aid or anything. The man was all over her, touching her, doing all this stuff. You can sense that she was afraid, but she couldn't do anything. But she wanted to just stay nice, and if she stays nice, maybe he'll go away. But this is what we see time and time and again, and this is why, you know, it can feel like society has failed us as women. This is why having those document, you know, protective orders a lot of times doesn't work. Do you know how many times protective orders are in place, but a person gets unalived anywhere in domestic violence situations time and time and again, when women and children and or both have been unalived? Society has failed us. The court system has failed us. Like, there are times we're going through custody issues. You, the woman, has to petition over and over. A lot of the judges are just fluid in their head, and many of them lead by ego. They themselves, who knows, they might have the same type of egos as the men who these women present to them in the court system. A lot of lawyers and judges and stuff have a chip over their shoulders. Maybe they're also going through their marital issues. Maybe they have their own vendetta against women in the first place. So you're coming to them with this thing about your guy, your blah, blah, blah. They just already have that bias set in space for them. They're not going to care. This is why it's so important for you to advocate for yourself, look out for yourself, protect yourself physically, set boundaries and keep them set. Put alarms, put cameras. Nobody is coming to save you, ladies, especially when it comes to breakup. You're going to break up quietly and safely. Withdraw quietly and safely. Protect yourself, protect your children, protect your family. Let somebody know what you're going through. But to say, oh yeah, he's not. Do you know how many Dateline stories I watch and say, oh, we never saw this coming. We never thought he was somebody who is capable of doing that. Do you know how many women have been unalived and they are in the cemetery right now because they overrode their instincts and they were literally sleeping with their own enemies, whether they were poisoned slowly or fastly, or they were somebody hired to unalive them or unalive their family members to show them a lesson, or they're being creeped out. Like sometimes it's creeping out, or you're being stalked online. Those flying monkeys who are stalking you, who are sending you, indirect messages of threat, because a lot of times threats are not physical. They can be psychological warfare on you, and they intentionally do this because they themselves, their family members and their flying monkeys are sadists, and they want to sit back and observe you cringe and cry and be scared and twist into a little bubble and lose your self-worth and your sense of self. But you can sense something is wrong and the police will come. You know how many times, even including myself, I call the police and they say, call us when you see an actual thing. But he said, no, I saw an actual thing. I sensed an actual thing. I saw that guy on my camera. One time I saw a guy on my camera. Literally, I was like, that is weird. Came, rang my bell, had an envelope. There was nothing in the envelope. And he came a couple of times. I called the police, all those numbers. I felt like, and I kind of sensed that there was somebody who I kind of knew was sending this person, intimidate me, to scare me, to distract me, to keep me. Because that person knows my point, and maybe sending it just to intimidate me, make me scared, because I have all this whatever. And they're like, yeah, besides, I see you doing it, but I'm gonna scare you by sending this person to your home with an envelope that has nothing in it, stuck it, like kind of shoved it into my door, like it kind of almost ripped it. And it also felt like, oh, the police was like, oh, maybe it's somebody just coming to solicitate their business, or talk about roofing or pest control, whatever, so don't worry about it. If he seemed to come and pose a problem for you, listen. No, I took it upon myself. I posted it on social media. I took it upon myself. I posted on my ring community. I was rallying community around me. He never came back. Not to say that sometimes they wait months, years.
Part 8, and for this one, I will need a couple shots, so mind your business. So his baby mama pulls up to my house, and as soon as he walks outside to the driveway to go meet her or whatever, my sister tells me, lock the door and wait until I get there. Like, no, this is not going down without me there. So she's like, lock the door, and when I get there, I'll let you know. I'm going to stay on FaceTime. So as soon as he walks out the door, I lock the door. And when he comes back to the door, he just starts kicking it in. Kicks the door in, literally breaks the entire door frame. And I guess he thought as soon as they came in, his baby mama was about to go to work. But the girl tries to sit down on my couch. But this is not an intervention. Like, girl, what did you think you came to give us? Couples therapy? So as soon as she's sitting down on the couch, she like kind of turns her back. But the way that my house was set up, from the couch, you can see my room. And the house wasn't big at all. So I know this girl seen me in her peripheral vision. And I know she didn't think that I was not going to do anything after she just walked up in my house. So I run up on her, and he tries to warn her, like, as if she didn't see me. And he's like, Ebony, turn around. What are you doing? So she turns around, but doesn't, like, she's not fighting me back. Like, I'm literally just beating this girl up. She's not fighting back. She's running behind the couch, literally got herself cornered at this point. And now he jumps in. Mind you, my sister already warned me that this was about to happen when she told me to lock the door. She was like, they're going to jump you. Like, if you do not lock that door, they're going to jump you. So I already knew it was about to go down. But like I said, he was fairly weak, and obviously so was his baby mama. And so when he grabbed me, he like grabbed my ponytail and just yanked me down on the floor. And now they both getting their licks in while I'm on the ground. But as I'm laying there and swinging back, I'm like literally realizing how weak they are. And I just stood up. So as soon as I stand up, he's asking her, where's my AR? Where's my AR? Like asking her where to go. And I'm like, what is he looking for that for? So she's like, where's my car keys? She's ready to get up out of here. She realizes that she don't know what she just walked into. So she's looking for her car keys, and I see her car keys, and I throw them outside, and I tell her to go fetch like a dog. And I'm looking for my phone because now I hear my sister, but I'm thinking I still hear my sister on FaceTime. So I'm looking for my phone, and they go outside. She gets in her car, and I assume he finds his AR. So I finally find my phone, and I realize that my sister is no longer on FaceTime, and that I hear her voice here outside in the driveway. So I run outside. As soon as I get out there, I look to my right because the driveway was right there on the side of the house. I look to my right, and he has the AR in his hand, pointing it at the car. I look to my left, and I see the baby mama sitting in the car in the driver's seat, and my sister on top of her beating her up. And this was all just happening so fast. So I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why do you have that in your hand? And as soon as I say that, he shoots it. And it goes through the car. So I start running up to the car. And I'm like, what the did you just do? And he points it at my head and was like, I wish you would. And so I'm thinking that it didn't go through the car, that it just hit the door. And I start running up to the car, and I guess he assumed the same thing because he knew that I was running up to the car and his baby mama was about to get jumped, just like they just jumped me. So he like, I wish you would. And I was like, you're not about to do nothing. And I still ran around the car. When I ran around the car, I see my sister literally laying there. So I start screaming to the top of my lungs. Mind you, Rachel's boyfriend is the one that drove her there. And he's literally just standing there like a deer in the headlights, like not doing anything. He didn't move a muscle. So I run up to her and I'm checking her, like trying to see if she got shot, like why did she just fall? I don't know what just happened. So I'm looking at her and I see that there is a wound in her butt. And I'm thinking that's the only place that it's at. It's right there in her butt. So now I'm thinking, okay, maybe she's okay. Like maybe nothing's going to happen. Hurry up and call the ambulance. So I call the ambulance and they're giving us instructions to put pressures on her wounds. And he was so evil that his baby mama didn't even know that was about to happen. She literally asked him, why did you just do that? What is wrong with you? So he goes and runs in the house. And mind you, it was a registered firearm and the house was in his name as well. So now he's trying to play by the law or whatever, like however you want to say it. And trying to like, you know, put pressure on the wounds and do things like that. So it seems like it was an accident. And now I'm tripping out once again. I'm like, do not touch my fucking sister. Like, do not put your hands on her at all. I tell her boyfriend to do it. And I don't even know if her boyfriend started doing it or not because I like could not touch my sister like that. I see my sister laying right there and she's literally just saying, sis, this shit hurts so bad. And I'm just telling her, like, I know. Don't worry about it. Nothing's going to happen. And she was like, yes, it is. I'm dying. Like, she's still talking to me, though. So I'm not believing nothing's about to happen to her. And she was like, I'm dying, sis. And I'm like, girl, no, the hell you're not. And so the ambulance gets there and they take her and the only hospital nearby is Sunrise. And I'm literally begging them. I'm like, do not take her to Sunrise Hospital, please. Like, I don't trust that hospital at all. And they're like, that's the only option. It's only like 6 minutes away from here. If we don't take her to Sunrise, she might die. So they take her. She's laying on the stretcher and she's still talking. She's literally still talking, still saying the same thing, that it just hurts so bad and that she feels like she's dying. And I'm like, sis, I'm gonna be there in a second, I promise you. And so I didn't know that when the police got there that they were gonna wanna like put me in handcuffs and question me for hours. I literally thought that they would be able to meet me at the hospital and question me at the hospital because at the end of the day, I was the victim in the situation and my sister was too. Like, he called this girl over here. He's the one that started all of this. He's the one with the firearm. Like, I don't understand why he's not the only one being put in handcuffs right now. So they put me in handcuffs, his baby mama, him, and they're just questioning all of us separately. And the investigation goes on for hours. And as I'm in handcuffs, I'm tripping out. I'm like, I just want to go check on my sister. Like, can you guys please let me go check on my sister? Can y'all call the hospital? Let me talk to her physically, like something. I don't care about nothing but my sister right now. I can't even tell y'all the story for real because my mind is everywhere. And that's how the article ended up saying that all of this was over marijuana because I was so distraught that that's the story that they got from me. And so that was happening, and this happened at 11 a.m. and the investigation went on until 6 p.m. They didn't let me out of handcuffs until 3 p.m. literally. And when they did, they wouldn't let me in the house to put any clothes on. It was freezing cold at the time. I had on shorts and a tank top because I had just woke up. Like, I hadn't brushed my teeth. I hadn't done anything yet. And so they had us in handcuffs at first, but once they let us out, they said like we were free to go. I just couldn't go in my house. So my big sister and my stepdad come and pick me up and they're asking me what happened. I'm letting them know what happened. And my sister, she just starts going up on me like, if my sister passes, it's your fault because like she should have never been involved and nothing that you and him had going on. And I'm just telling her, like, come on now, like, we all know, sis, like, she was gonna pull up regardless. Even if I didn't call her right then and there, once I told her that they jumped me or that I fought her at that, she was still gonna pull up to their house. Like, and then on top of that, he had some type of revenge that he wanted from her. He did not just do that just because he was scared for his baby mama. Like, he literally has been hating my sister our whole relationships probably since she busted him in the face with a wine glass. So the hospital calls and they tell us that basically she is not stable and that they don't think that she's going to make it. And now my whole world is crumbled all over again, because I'm like, there's no way you're doing this to me right now, God. Like, you literally just took my mom. There's no way you're about to take my sister too. Like, she told us that all we would have is each other. And me and my oldest sister have never had the best relationship. So, like, that wasn't enough for me. And I was just, like, distraught. I was stressed. I was everything that you can think of. And so I didn't want to stay there with my sister that night because she had already said what she said to me. So I'm like, I'm just going to go home. Like, I don't even want to be around this type of energy right now. And she was hurt, and so I understand why she said it. But I left and I went back to the house. And you'll have to tune in to part 9 to find out what happened after that.
Let me tell you something right now. A man that is not emotionally intelligent will never understand how his actions could have hurt you. He will always think that, well, it wasn't that bad. And he will also think that because it wasn't his intention that you'll be okay. You will never get that man to see the effects of what he did to you. So you have to do one of two things. Accept the fact that he'll never really understand it. He'll never really get it. So there's a possibility he's going to do it multiple times, or you could choose to walk away. Because what ends up happening is you have this constant conversation of what that person did and how their actions affected you negatively. And in their mind, they can't be seen as the perpetrator. Oh, that's not me. They can never say, you know what, even though that wasn't my intention, I understand that I hurt you. And here's what I'm going to do to make sure that I never do that again. They can't do that. In their mind, it's always like, well, of course you should take me back. Of course we should be able to move on and we should be able to live happily ever after, because that's not me. God knows my heart. God knows exactly who I am. It could not have been that bad. And you will forever be in a cycle, and you'll never get the validation that you need, and you'll never feel comfortable with that man, and you'll never trust that man to be able to take care of you going forward. You know why? Because to this day, 10 years later, he will never see that his actions were actually that bad, actually that negative. So babe, it's going to hurt, because you're never going to get the validation that you need and that comfort and that reassurance. And both of y'all are going to be going back and forth. So I would say just leave. Because you'll probably be wasting your time, because men like that need therapy. And a lot of men like that, they're not going. They're not going to therapy because, once again, I could never do anything like that. They have the savior complex, and it's their ego as well. Like, how dare you tell me I hurt you? I don't do those things. No, you do, babes. You do.
What's the difference between how men and women deal with a breakup? In advance, don't get mad at me, because you're probably going to get mad at me, but it's going to make so much sense. So you know that meme where it's like women one day after a breakup and she's crying and men are like running through a field happy, and then it shows them 2 weeks after breakup and the woman's the one that's happy and the man is the one that's like down bad? The reason for that being is because men are excited to have a novel experience. It's programmed into them biologically to want novel experiences and to want a new girl. Look up the Coolidge effect. So if you break up with a guy, or he breaks up with you, and he's like totally fine about it, it means there's a different girl on his radar. He's excited to be single again. And maybe he's not thinking that all the way through, and he's forgotten what it was like for him to be single in the first place, or he's not appreciating what you bring to the table for him in his life. He's just excited to be single. Meanwhile, women, we invested all of this effort into this individual, so for us, it's a loss. If he's totally fine after a breakup, that means there's a different girl, and that is why they keep other women in their orbit, because to them, it's not cheating if they don't stick in somebody else. But they'll still keep in contact with other people. They'll still be friendly with people. They'll still have friends that are girls that they're attracted to. You know, they'll still follow girls. They'll still like other girls' pictures because they're keeping tabs on other women. So when you break up, in their mind, they're thinking, oh my gosh, yay, I get to go run to Stacy, who I like, you know, just say little cute flirty things here and there with, and see what's up over there. After a couple weeks, when the novelty wears off, that's when they start to come to their senses and they're like, oh shit, I'm not that guy. That's when all that, they're going to come down from that high and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I miss, you know, everything reminds me of her. I miss doing these things with her. I miss doing those things with her. Like, I fucked up. Women are going to take those 2 weeks to heal. We're going to take those 2 weeks to to get back in touch with ourselves, to work out, to be with friends, to like mourn and to like, you know, recuperate, to get ourselves right emotionally again. So that's why after 2 weeks, we're like, oh my gosh, I've done so much healing. I feel so much better. That's also why when he comes back in 2 weeks, do not take him back. If he doesn't come back to you, if he doesn't try when the breakup happens or he breaks up with you, if days go by and you don't hear anything from him, he's just fine with the breakup, that is what that meant. He went and ran to somebody else. He eventually came to his senses, which they always do, and then he comes back to you. But that is why you cannot take him back.